And we're live. I'll let you do first introduction.
Alright. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Audio Boys podcast. I'm Shortround Audio.
And I'm Proxy, or Super Proxy ASMR.
And this is our podcast.
Yes. This is a podcast where we'll ask each other questions. We'll talk about current news in the VA community, or we'll just talk about things we enjoy doing, like games and such. It's just mostly us hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah, to be just pretty laid back. Maybe have some good laughs and guffaws.
Right. I have a couple questions written down. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
If you want to start, then we'll get right into it.
So, what is like the origin of the name Super Proxy? Like, where does that come from?
Oh, fun fact about that one. My original channel, the one I was originally part of, Fortuna Husky Storytelling, which has been changed to Omega Storytelling, that channel almost got deleted off the internet because we almost had 3 copyright strikes. Well, not copyright, but guideline strikes. So I created Super Proxy to kind of port everything over. And since I wasn't planning on ever using it, it was going to be called Super Fake Account, Super Fake, because proxy means fake or duplicate. So Super Fake ASMR, that's kind of the joke of the channel. And I never changed it because I ended up really, really liking it. And really liking the name. Other people think proxy like in the horror thing, like from Slender Man and stuff. But no, it's a joke on the channel name. It's Super Fake ASMR. That's the joke. That's what made you come up with your name?
Well, I'm short, so I'm trying to think of like things to go off of that. So like there's like Short King, Short Stack, Shortstop, Short Round, and of those ones, Short Round was the one I liked the most.
Yeah, and by the way, I love your logo so much. The little green Kirby. I don't know why. I genuinely find it charming.
It was basically like a version of it that I made. So I guess I'll put it in like the Discord. Actually, I'll just pop it in there. But basically, I made it at like 10 p.m. at night while I was like trying to get. I just wanted a. It's like that was like this is the original version of it. You can see in the Discord call and in the Discord chat.
Right, I can't quite look at it right now because then it'll disrupt the audio, but I'll be able to look at it later.
Yeah, it was basically just this thing I made late at night. Just took a picture of it and just uploaded that. I made that my profile picture and everything. But I wanted a professional one. And What Giraffe, or Gigi, another ASMR artist,
who's really talented,
made the one that we have now.
Well, I really like it.
Yeah, unprompted, just like got a DM from her and it was that.
Yeah, my profile was originally an actual Husky because the original name was Husky Proxy, and then switched to Super Proxy when I left the original channel and when I decided to do my own thing. And I think it's a lot better for it that I'm kind of doing my own thing and starting off my own stuff. So I guess that leads me to my first question. What made you start ASMR?
I've been a listener for a while, and I slowly started to think it'd be kind of cool to do this myself. I had a bunch of different ideas I was writing down over the months as I started listening, and I eventually just made the channel. I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to start doing this now.
So that sounds really awesome. I started ASMR because in my life at the time, I had been doing a lot of gaming content. That's what I mostly focused on. But I was really, really unhappy with my life and started having thoughts, as you know. I genuinely thought I had no purpose left in my life. And I was thinking about that kind of stuff. And when I discovered ASMR, it awoken, because like when I was a kid, I used to make up stories and talk about it out loud, like SpongeBob getting a computer and stuff like that. It just come up in my head.
Yeah.
I would make whole stories and arcs out of it, and I would be like, as in like a 7 or 6 year old, I'd be laying in the back of my dad's truck thinking about that, like, wow, what if I came up with this, or what if I did this in this story, even though I never wrote it down.
I was the same way.
So that got locked away for a very long time, right? And then it got reawoken when I started listening to ASMR, when I discovered Angel Core, Kai Says Things, you know. When I discovered those guys, I was just like, wait, can I do this? Could I do this? Is it possible?
Yeah.
And so I started making, and when I first started ASMR, it was really bad. I listened to it and I cringed really hard. They're 1 minute horrible short audios where I'm very unsure of my voice at the time and I'm very scared of it. So I don't put much effort into it. Not that I'm putting much effort, it's that I'm not. Right now I'm very animated, you know, I'm very extroverted, but when I first started, I was very scared what I was doing. But that's what made me want to start ASMR is, you know, I felt a creative spark light up within me that had been dulled for so long.
And I was like, kind of the same way. I like love storytelling and stuff like that, and just the creation of like different worlds and lore.
Right.
So like, so the amount of that I see in the community is like basically one of the biggest draws for me.
Right, and the community is so tight knit too. This community is so it's so like close together. Like everyone knows everyone. Like once you join the community, everyone wants to get to know you.
Yeah.
It's a really cool community. I love this community. Everyone's so welcoming and warm.
Yeah. While there's drama, there's still a lot of great stuff in there.
Right. Well, we're not going to get into that on this podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to keep this happy vibes. But for at least for the first episode.
Any of that nasty stuff.
Right. So I guess that leads into you now. What's your next question?
It was, what was your first experience with ASMR?
Oh, my very first experience. My very first ASMR video I ever watched was, I forget exactly who it was. I think it might have been Kasumi, maybe? With, Alien series, maybe? Or it was Fantastical, no. I don't know. Or was it Dark and Twist? I'm trying to remember what my very first one I watched was. Trying to remember... My very first... Oh, I first heard about it through YouTube, YouTube Rewind, when they first talked about ASMR in there, like when they showed it for a tiny bit. And I was like, what's that? And I looked it up, and I ended up really liking it. But what I'm trying to think about is like the first video I really enjoyed. It's really hard to remember, because that was 2 years ago almost now. It's kind of crazy. Because I discovered it in January of 2019. Or 2020, I mean. 2020. That's when I started getting into ASMR, and that's when I created my channel, but I started listening in 2019. I want to say like it's hard to say, you know. It's really hard to say. Like there's a lot of those people at the same time I was watching. Obviously Kai, you know there was Fantastical, Dark and Twisted, Angel Core, Kasumi. And at the time, I didn't have many people I was watching. Obviously, I was watching Urban Nymph because I really liked Urban Nymph.
Yeah,
I still do.
She's great.
Yeah. Mother Macbray. Like, there was a ton of different creators I was watching at the time, so I'm not sure where it started, but I know like the first few channels I started listening to.
Yeah.
I was really into like werewolf and vampire audios at the time, and alien stuff. I don't know. I still like sci-fi. Sci-fi stuff and fantasy stuff, you know, amazes me. Hence why I make a lot of it. Anyway,
I'm hoping to do more of those.
Right. What? I guess that's my turn. No. You got to answer your own question now. You got to elaborate.
My exposure to it, like originally, there's a whole like the first boom of ASMR. Everybody like knew of it just being like the weird side of the internet. Everybody thought it was, and so I was like kind of like turned off by it. Not really like wanting to like engage. I thought it was weird. Then I found. My exposure to like the audio roleplay community was through the 18 plus side of it, and so I kind of found that I was like, this is pretty great. And then I kind of like ended up switching over, started watching like the wholesome stuff, and then I got really into that. In the first video, I'm not gonna say what it was because I'm trying to make this a wholesome podcast, but it was by Variana.
Oh, Variana.
Videos. So she's the first person I ever watched.
Variana has a lot of cool content. I mean, she's good at wholesome and she's good at the 18 plus stuff for artists, what you're watching.
Yeah, her and Dude That's Lewd were the first two people I started watching.
Yeah. Hey, wait, I have a question though. Is Dude That's Lewd, are they the same person as Dude That's Wholesome?
Yes.
Okay, I was curious. I was curious if they just had similar names or if it legit was the same person. I don't know.
Yeah, the wholesome is like the wholesome stuff, and lewd is like the 18
the
plus stuff
yeah.
of hers.
I guess this leads into mine. What was your favorite ASMR that you ever made? Like, what are you most proud of?
So far, probably, I don't even know. I'm kind of looking through the channel. I'm really proud of the non-powered boyfriend one I made, the last audio I made. I like that one a lot. The autism comfort one I made, I'm really proud of because I'm autistic and I wanted to kind of like make a comfort audio for people in the community, like neurodivergent people.
Right, and I understand that. I have some amount of brain damage, and I can understand that. I personally don't get into a lot of that stuff because I just like to think of myself as normal, even though I'm very much not, but I like to think of myself as.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
As for like my favorite ASMR I've ever made, that's like I want to say it was the Shy Dragon series, but that was, I don't know, like the one I made recently, Artificial Danger 3, I actually had a lot of fun with doing all the multiple endings to that one. I actually had a lot of fun recording that, and I had a lot of fun for everyone that joined on, including you, which again, I'm still really thankful that you recorded a bit for that.
No problem.
I had a lot of fun with that. Like that was legit a lot of fun recording and getting done. I mean, it took a week and a half, but I got it done.
Yeah.
It took a while to record all the endings, mostly because the script writing. Oh dear. The script writing for that. Recording 10 videos.
Making your own choose your own adventure book.
Yeah, I did that in ASMR form, which I've done before. I did it with Shark King, but those were much smaller and much more compact. This is the biggest one I've done. And
how many different endings are there?
You got 2 paths you can pick, right? So that's 2 videos alone. Well, 3 videos just to get started. First introduction, then you could pick the doctor or the spoiler alert, by the way, anyone watching this. You could pick the doctor or the captain path. If you pick the captain path, you have to listen to that audio. Then you got to listen through two more audios for 2 different endings. Each path has 2 different endings. So that's already on its own. Like, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 different videos for 1 ASMR. It's a lot of script writing.
A lot.
And some of them are longer than the introduction video, which is 7 minutes. So, and there's like 2 paths within each one. Generally, there's one true ending, which is very obvious to find, but I'd like to add other endings just to spice it up. And if you wanna be the villain, you can, you know. But there is a true ending, and it's obvious which one it is because it's the longest video out of them all. But it has the most complete ending out of them. Because their endings, they're just not satisfactory endings, in my opinion. Because I want to write good endings to them, but I'm worried about continuing the series and then them being like, well, what about these endings? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then I have to worry about... It's what happened with Shark King, is I added so many different endings that there's no one true ending to go off. So now Shark King's kind of dead in the water, pun intended.
That's a good one.
But what's your next question?
Kind of more getting away from like the VA stuff. Like, who are some of your favorite like non-ASMR YouTubers?
Chugga Conroy, HC Bailey, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, those guys. Mostly Markiplier and Jacksepticeye just for their wholesomeness alone. But because they're just genuinely good people, genuinely actual good people. That's why I like them. I don't really watch the videos too much. I just like the people they are. And when it comes to Chugga Conroy, he was the very first YouTuber I ever saw. He was my introduction to YouTube, all the way back in 2009. So he was the very first YouTuber I ever watched when I was trying to figure out how to play Super Paper Mario on the Wii. When my friend said, why don't you just search on YouTube? I'm like, what is YouTube? And he pulled it up on the website, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. How are they doing that? My mind was blown. Like, my mind was... Blue.
I don't even remember my first experience with it. I do remember though my brother having to write down the name so I can know what to type.
Yeah, yeah. After I showed my birth father what it was, he just searched music up on it all the time and would play it blasting throughout the house. Because we had one computer, right?
Yeah.
And this is before I went homeless, so this is when we had a computer and stuff. But he'd blast music throughout the house, and it was pretty awesome. Though I have to admit, it sucked when we lost internet for about a year, because like then I stopped using YouTube, even though I really badly wanted to, because I loved YouTube. Dude, I became obsessed with YouTube as a kid. Like, I was obsessed with it. I wanted to become a YouTuber so bad, but I couldn't ever realize that dream till 2016 because I didn't have the ability to. I didn't have the technology. So, kind of makes it hard when you don't have a phone or anything. And anyway, I don't think really iPhones were really around yet, or if they were, they didn't have that many features for that. So
yeah, like now you can make you can make like a movie basically on an iPhone. It's
right,
insane.
Well, I mean, everything I do on my channel is off of an iPhone. It's off the iPhone 11. Everything you see on my channel is done on an iPhone. So I mean, just look how far that's come. You know, because I don't have a computer.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about you though? What was your first introduction to YouTube, or first channel?
I think the earliest is Tobuscus, which is, you know.
I don't know. I never really liked Tobuscus. He just had way too high of energy for me, which is kind of weird because I watched people like Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie. But like, I don't know. Yeah. Tobuscus was just like a level I couldn't deal with. I don't know. Yeah, he kind of like put me into sensory overload.
Yeah, I used to watch this stuff a lot. I don't anymore. Now I watch a lot of people like Gus Johnson and Eddie Burback.
Those are good people. I don't really watch them that much. I mostly watch, like, nowadays I kind of watch Co Carnage. I still watch Chugga Conrad and HC Bailey whenever I'm playing older games because they do walkthroughs. And they always do 100% runs, so if I want to, like, find something, they'll have it. You know? Like, if I'm playing Final Fantasy VI, I can go back and get all the good stuff for that. I think this is my turn for a question now. Are you inspired by anyone, like in the VA community? Are you like inspired by someone?
Yeah, like there's certain people who like I have as like I want to make that type of content. It's like Sweetheart Audio, Teacup, Dreams of Peaches, Soroxy ASMR, Urban Nymph. Nosier, people like that.
Yeah, those are all really great creators. I am inspired by a few different creators. I'm inspired by Siren Sun, obviously, because I talk about him a lot. Kai Says Things, again, really good creator. I'm inspired by Fantastical, Dark and Twisted. I get inspired by these guys who can create really like dramatic audio stories and create like huge arcs around the characters. Like Hall of VA's example, he's the main inspiration for the he was the biggest inspiration I pulled from for the Dark Prince series, the Mad Prince, which is very obvious if you go back and listen to his audios and mine. You can kind of see that I kind of take some concepts he used, not exactly copying, but using similar themes. If you actually go back and listen to each audios, granted mine are much worse than his, but I was trying to do something like he was doing, having an overarching villain through his ASMRs. I was trying to doing that and mixing all my ASMRs into the same world, which is how we got Gaia, my in-universe ASMR universe world, how everything's always connected to it in a different timeline or something, like different run time, like usually my high school stuff is obviously way before Gaia when it's still Earth.
Yeah.
Because all Gaia is Earth getting hit by a meteor and introducing monsters to it. That's what it is after humanity is pretty much gone. You know, that's what Gaia is. It's Earth way in the future. You know, it's a heavily futuristic version of Earth that has been nuked, obliterated, damaged, and then brought back to life with Gaia, so everything's all twisty-whirly. You know, not quite, kind of like Adventure Time's Ooh in a sort of way.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like that, except a lot more, I guess, grounded. It's not like as fantastical of themes. It's a lot more grounded and has a rule set to it. You can't use magic willy-nilly. You don't have elder gods running around. It's very much grounded in reality most of the time, and there are biological things to that world. I guess it's your turn for a question now.
What kind of stuff do you do when you're not like doing ASMR and stuff like that?
When I'm not recording,
What are your hobbies?
My hobbies include writing ASMR. ASMR is really fun for me. This is my hobby. But
Yeah.
I guess if I'm not writing or recording or anything ASMR, I guess I'm like watching something on Netflix, or I'm playing like a game. Like I'll play like Kingdom Hearts 3, or I'll play. Well, actually, that's mostly the only game I play. Because I have a bunch of games. Like I have Doom, Battlefield, Borderlands. You know, I got Watch Dogs, VIP Feud. You know, I have a ton of different games. Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. You know, there's a ton of games I really, really enjoy, including the FNAF games. It's just the problem with them is that it takes a while to build yourself up. And with Kingdom Hearts, I could just jump right in, play a quick game, get off, and go. You know, play for a little bit, level up, leave. And that's kind of what I do with it. It's just, you know, it's a game I play just before I go to bed, or when I wake up in the morning, play a quick match of that, and then, or not match, it's not quite right, you know, play a little bit, level up, then get off, or advance the story a little bit, because I don't know, that's kind of what I've been doing a lot, because a lot of my free time has been taken away, and that's not a bad thing. I want to do that, you know, I'm making a choice to focus ASMR and focus on my channel, because the majority of my time is spent script writing, recording and editing. Like I spend 90% of my time doing that. When there isn't a video, I am writing, editing, recording for the next day. Because, you know, I write scripts I shouldn't call them scripts, they're more like overviews, because I write what's going to happen, but I never write the dialogue for it. Because, unless I'm doing it with other people, like collabs, I usually write overview, which means, I record I type what's gonna happen, but I don't let words in, so then I can act in character, and that way I don't burn myself out, and also that way I can record an episode every single day except weekends. You know, it's how I keep daily uploads. Yeah.
Okay, the schedule you got.
Right, I spend my weekends writing, and I spend the whole week recording and editing. And even sometimes during the week I'm writing, because sometimes I get an idea and I want to do it, like yesterday with Lamia.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's your turn to answer your own question.
Yeah, mainly just I play a lot of video games. Like some of my favorites are like Resident Evil, Dark Souls. Anybody listening here follows me on Twitter, they definitely know that. I also play some of the Final Fantasy games. When I'm not doing that, I play the guitar and drums and piano and bass. So I do a lot of that.
Awesome. I have a guitar, but I have no idea how to play it. It was gifted
I'm
to me.
mainly self-taught. Like I took a class in last semester of college, and it was just didn't teach me exactly what I wanted it to. Probably would have been better if it was in person and not online, but
Right. Well, it's just kind of hard to learn things online when you're not in person. I'm much more of a hands-on learner.
yeah, it's the same way.
Next question, because it's my turn. What are your goals? Like, what's your goals for the channel or life, or just what are your goals?
I honestly just want to be able to do like, YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that full time. To make it a career and be able to do the stuff I like doing for a job. Just get to like stream on Twitch and just get to play Resident Evil and just have fun with the chat. And then when I'm not doing that, writing and recording an audio.
Right, and that sounds like a lot of fun. My personal goals are a little bit out there, and they're going to take a while to reach, but my eventual goal is to be the very best ASMR creator of them all. I want to be learned through skills and experience, and I truly do want to be the actual very best there is. That is my eventual end goal, is to make the best ASMR I can, and to eventually go full-time ASMR instead of working a job and doing ASMR. I'll be able to just do ASMR and earn money doing that. And eventually I want to open a Patreon and do that, but I don't think I should yet because I'm only at 3K and it's just, I'm way too small to do that. Maybe when I reach like 100K, I'll do a Patreon for like early access or just tips or whatnot, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really want to gatekeep my ASMR. Like, I want everyone to be able to watch it, and I want everyone to be able to enjoy it. And I don't know. It's one of those things I find very hard to justify, in my opinion. I get why other people do it because they need the money, but I don't necessarily need it. I'm surviving well enough. So, I don't know. I find it one of those hard things where it's like, I want to do something, but I don't really see a reason to do it because it's like hard to justify doing it. You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely have goals. I eventually obviously want to keep growing bigger. I want to get to 10K, 50K, you know, but you know, I'm going to make a big deal out of 10K. That's definitely going to be a really, really big milestone when I eventually reach that. Because I don't want to say if, because I know it's an event, I will eventually reach that, even if it takes a couple of years, right? Or however long that takes. Because as long as I keep going the path I'm going, I know I'm going to keep going as far as I can. Same with you, you know, everyone grows at their own pace. And even if it takes years, I'll eventually reach there, right? Because right the rate I'm going right now, I'm currently gaining like 100 subs a day. Which, by the way, if anyone's watching this right now that's just subbed recently, thank you guys so much. Like, that's honestly amazing that I wake up every morning 100 subs more. And I just, you know, it means a lot to me. Okay, sorry. Now it's your turn to do things. Right.
I believe it's now my turn to ask a question. So, like, kind of going away from like ASMR completely, just like what kind of, like, what do you think? What are some of your favorite movies?
Oh, my favorite movies. Forrest Gump is my absolute favorite movie of all time.
That's a good one.
I love that movie, mostly because as a kid, since I have a disability, I was made fun of a lot for my speech impediment because at the time I couldn't talk very well because I didn't learn to properly talk till I was like 10 or something. And so I had really bad time pronouncing words because I couldn't say my R's and L's, and A's were really hard for me. So I was made fun of a lot, you know, a lot. Like, people would follow me home and throw things at me and hit me with things, right? And they would make fun of me. And I can't say the word here, but let's just say, without saying the R part of it, they'd call me tardy, you know, but with the R.
Yeah.
R-E, you know.
Yeah.
And they would make fun of me, and it was really bad. And then I'd watch Forrest Gump, and I'd be inspired by him, and I would be like, I want to be like him, just not bothered by anything. I want to be as strong as Forrest Gump. I want to be as good as Forrest Gump, you know? I wanted to have that soul and that passion and that want to just push onward, you know, and just keep going. And that really inspired me as a kid. And it's still one of my favorite movies of all time, you know? Yeah. Sorry, I went on a little bit of a tangent there.
Fine.
What about you?
Well, like, I kind of put my favorite movies into 3 different categories. Like, my favorite animated movie is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's a 10 out of 10 movie for me right there. Like my favorite live action movie is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I watched that all the time when I was like 10, and I didn't watch it for the years after that. Then I got back into it again a few years ago, and I watch it like every now and then, like, because it's just such a great movie. The comedy gets me every time. The soundtrack is great. My favorite comic book based movie is probably Baby Driver. That was the first normal movie I saw that I really enjoyed. Like, that was just kind of about a different concept that of this guy who's a getaway driver, but also has tinnitus. So he just listens to music all the time. And the driving sequences were amazing. It's just so super well done.
Nice. My favorite animated movie is Lion King because it's the first Disney movie I watched, and the soundtrack is amazing in that movie. I love every song. I like how it's animated. Generally, just a really good movie. My favorite.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, my favorite like animated live action is Beauty and the Beast. Just how it was done, I really like that. Like the live action animated version. You know what I mean? Like the live action of the animated version. My favorite non-comic or a Marvel or whatever thing, or like something that's not widely popular, I doubt anyone's ever watched, is Aristocrats. I really love Aristocats. I love that movie, especially the song Everybody wants to be a cat. I love that movie. You know?
I don't think I ever saw it, but I know we had it. I think we had like the VHS of it, but I don't think I ever watched it.
Nice. So I guess it's my turn to ask a question. What do you see in your future? Like, what personally do you think is gonna happen in your future?
I think I'm probably gonna blow up on YouTube, honestly, because I'm getting a lot of subs. Like, I have more. Like, I'm almost about to reach the next milestone, and I haven't done my my celebration for my last milestone. So I think I'm already gonna continue growing. I know I'm moving soon, so it's more like a personal thing. I'm moving out of state within the next few months.
Nice. Personally, for me, I see in my future is my parents are very supportive with what I'm doing, and they want me to become a voice actor, which makes me really happy. So I personally see in my future is becoming a voice actor. That's what my dream is. You know, my end goal is to become a professional voice actor like Robin Williams. You know, that's my end goal. You know?
It's funny, I'd love to do that too. Just, I want to be in a video game. That's one of my like biggest like end game goals.
So what's your next question?
What are some of your favorite shows?
Well, favorite shows, that's easy. Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Gravity Falls, Teen Titans. I've actually really liked We Bare Bears, even though a lot of people didn't. I really like that show. Oh, and I like the show Lucifer. I like that show. And that's really it, honestly. I don't watch a whole lot of shows. I'm currently watching Code Geass, but I don't know how I think about it yet because I'm still fresh in the show.
I'm my favorite live action show. My favorite just like my favorite normal show, I guess I'd say, like on like actual TV is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I got into that last year and I really liked it. I'm sad it's ending, but it had to end at some point. But other than that, I really like The Boys on Amazon Prime and Invincible. I used to watch like The Flash and like Arrow and those shows, and I kind of got burned out because every episode you had to watch to understand what was going on in every other show, and it was like I'm not going to keep up with this every single week.
Right, Invincible is such a cool OST though. That has such a cool soundtrack. I love Invincible's soundtrack.
It's oh my god.
Invincible is like the scene from like spoiler alert, but it's been shared everywhere. The scene with the dad when he goes to the other planet and he's like, "This place isn't yours to conquer. Dude. Earth isn't yours to conquer." And the soundtrack that plays in the background, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, I could talk about it. J.K. Simmons destroyed as Omni-Man.
Right. Oh, J.K. Simmons is just really good in those roles. They put him in the perfect role. He's like he was born for that role.
Yeah, and then Steven Yeun as Invincible worked super well.
Right. Though I still think Simmons probably is the best character. Like just like how he's written. Personally, I think he's one of the best characters I've seen written. In media, as a whole. Just how his mannerisms and how he talks. Like you set him up very well to be the villain. Like I just love that. I love the setup for him. It is set up really well. And then I guess my next question is, what do you have in the works? Like, what ASMR are you planning to do? What's your main drive? Like, what is something that you are working on currently?
I have a few stuff I'm working on. I'm working on a cover actually with It's Dish ASMR. So I'm working on that. Then I have some other stuff I'm working on, like actual audios, like more stuff like the Non-Powered Boyfriend series. And like one is like going off of what you had, which is the superhero dad comforts you. Gonna do that one soon. Started writing that one.
Right.
I have like a bunch of tabs open, so I can guess I can look through those. There's like, there's one I want to do a series that's like the Sundere Jock. It's just like kind of built up like through their relationship with the listener.
That's a good idea. I've done jocks, but they're mostly M for M stuff.
Another one, I want to do this big like huge collab thing, like a bunch of mini collabs that goes into like it's like a single audio of like inspired by Dark Souls 3.
Oh, that sounds cool.
I'm still writing it because I want to get it right. But yeah, I just have a bunch of like mini collabs at the beginning when the listener is at the Firelink Shrine, and everybody that's there, then they travel somewhere, then they meet me, and then that's where the rest of the audio goes.
That sounds really, really cool. Some ASMR I have in the works is come back to one of my original series named Shy Draken, which boosted my channel to really good heights. So there's a comeback to that original series coming soon, a new episode, where it's going to start off a new series with the Shy Dragon. And we're going to have, I'm working on Reborn in Metal, which is going to take the place of Artificial Danger till I release season 2. And there's a few other ones I'm not going to mention right now, like there's Supervillain Dad, but that's heavily in the works and I can't talk about it much because it's been very rough stages. And there's a few others that are in the works, but the main plan for this month is to get Reborn in Metal done, get the Shy Dragon episode out, and to start getting season 2 prepped up and ready to upload by 2022, because season 2 is almost here. Oh boy, season 2. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Season 2 of the Gaia series. Oh boy. I ended it off with the war arc and the king taking over everything. And now I'm switching it up. Instead of it jumping all over the world, it's going to have a little small party, kind of like D&D, and they're going to adventure around the world.
Ooh.
I still need to get some voice actors for it, but the script writing is going really well for that, and I'm really happy how it's turning out. Very close to being done. I just need some voice actors for it, and season 2 will be officially started. Because 2022 is going to be season 2 time, and it's going to be fun. You know, the Legend of Gaia series finally kicking off.
Yeah.
Because you already have the android of Gaia, which is obviously going to be one of the main party members. Amethea. Look, I'm just going to let this off here because it doesn't really matter. You don't have much lore on them anyway. But obviously we have Frederick, the android from the Android of Gaia series, who's going to be joining, which you took his perspective in Artificial Danger when he absorbed the listener into him, so the listener became part of Frederick. So then you took from his perspective, which is how I was able to make Artificial Danger, because all Artificial Danger is you basically stealing Frederick's body. And then we have our wonderful Sunny the Werewolf, who is a very optimistic character but can get very serious in moments of incredible danger. Amethea the Harpy, who's a very, very energetic soul and can often get herself into trouble but not meaning to, but has very, very, very also, sorry if you hear my dog in the background, she's drinking water, but yeah, she's kind of loud when she does most things. But yeah, then you have Amethea, our little harpy girl, who is very, very energetic, but has a very, very interesting powers. Let's say that. and she'll definitely be the main character of season 2, if not not Seth. Who Seth is going to be very important, and I've talked about him a little bit and mentioned him a couple times in many different audios, hinting at him for season 2. But Aerith is going to be also one of the main. Seraph is going to be one of the main characters as well. The Mad Prince becoming a hero, his story arc, which is going to be very interesting to write. Yeah, the main cast is definitely interesting. You know, a vampire, a harpy, a human, you know, an android, and you got a vampire who doesn't talk. You got the mute vampire. Huh?
They all walk into a bar. A vampire, a harpy, and a human walk into a bar.
Oh. Alright, and you got Sonny the Werewolf, who's just a very happy dude, but again, he can get serious, and he's one of the more powerful ones. It's a very diverse team. I tried making it a very diverse group of monsters, but of course I had to have a vampire and a werewolf on the team.
Yeah, I mean, you had to. There's no, like, fantasy group like that's complete without at least a vampire.
Right. So the vampire's mute, but he's very, like... He used to be of royal blood, but he was kicked out of the family. But there's almost no lore about him because he can't talk. So I don't know how to write lore about him, except the fact of explaining it after the fact is... He's a mute vampire who can't open his mouth. So his mouth is stitched. So he can't talk. But you know what he can do? He can grumble. He can go, kind of like a villager. Ha. It's kind of how he sounds, but he's a very respectable, he's a gentleman type. He falls in love with the dryad, you know how that is.
Yeah. It's everyday stuff, you know?
You know, everything. A vampire and a dryad falling in love, you know how that is. Season 2
It sounds like an urban nymph kind of thing, actually, now that I think about it.
A vampire and a dryad?
Yeah. I mean, it's already the vampire and the angel, so...
Oh yeah, that is a very good series. I wonder how that series is gonna go. The cliffhanger. But anyway, sorry. We're reaching the last 12 minutes here, so we probably want to start wrapping down here because again, I only have a 60-minute time limit. So,
yeah.
To end some things off, I guess we'll kind of just talk about I don't know, just kind of wind down, talk about small things. Not like in the community, I guess, that we're interested in. I'm working on a collab currently about the Monster series, which will be a very interesting Monster High School, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, very excited to do that.
No, it's a redo of my original Monster High School series, which failed and fell flat on its face because all the voice actors quit. And I went, no, wait, come back.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm changing it up this time so that it can actually succeed. Because the way I had it written before was we were all just going to be in one audio, but it ended up being extremely chaotic. People couldn't turn in their lines, and it just didn't work out. So in the new way I'm doing it, just record the audio on your guys' own channels, put it as unlisted, then I link it in the video, then using the intro video, they'll all go to your channels, depending on the class. And that'll be the fun part. So that'll be really fun. Anything you want to wrap out though this thing, because we're getting close to wrap up time.
But there was like one last question, which is like, I ask you, like, what kind of music do you listen to?
Oh, I like a lot of video game OSTs. That's kind of what I listen to. But I really like Eminem, which I know. Oh my God, she likes Eminem. No, I really do. I like Lose Yourself and stuff like that. I like those kind of songs.
Yeah. Classic.
Right, and Lose Yourself, Venom. I like My Dad's Gone Crazy. There's some good songs in there. I also listen to Waka Flocka. I forget the band that does Learn How to Fly. When we learn how to fly. I forget the one that does that.
I think Foo Fighters?
Maybe. I also really like country music, like Johnny Cash. I'm a huge fan of Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash is really the only country musician I listen to.
I also like Elvis. Elvis sounds very good too.
Elvis is nothing.
Like there's a ton of different genres of music I like. There's a ton of different genres. I like some metal, but not like a lot of it. I like metal in the sense that it has I like songs with story. That is honestly. I like songs that have a tone and a story. That's the only reason I don't like people like no, I don't like people, but I don't like their songs. Like What's the dude with the rainbow hair? I forget. But the guy who does a Gucci Gang, Gucci. I don't.
Takeshi.
Yeah, I don't really like his songs a lot because.
Oh, he's also not a good person either.
Well, no, but like that's there's a reason too. Is like I don't like their music because there's no story behind it. It's just words mished together and mashed. Like Billie Eilish, for example, she's really good. She makes really good. She has a story behind her songs.
I'm just very much like a kind of a pure music person where it's like I'm not gonna listen to Billie Eilish. That sucks. And like actually not really. Like because I listen to like stuff like Therefore I Am and Bad Guy. And it's like there's stuff in here I've never heard before.
Right. Like example, have you ever listened to like Swedish House Mafia? Like there's plenty of good music from them, or like Black Eyed Peas, or yeah. There's plenty of different people. I really like I forget the people who do Hail to the King. I forget. The guys who also recorded the guys who did the Black Ops 2 Origins theme. I'm trying to remember. They did like this thing. I am your war, I'm in the greed. It goes like that. Like I forget exactly what the lyrics are. It's been a second. I don't even remember the band all that well either. But they also make a lot of great music. There's like the kind of rock I like, you know, stuff with a story. I like music with a story attached. That's the kind of music I enjoy. But like if it's like a game OST, then there's already a story behind it because I picture it in my head, you know?
Yeah.
So that's not really, unless it's like Mario. There's not really a story in Mario. Unless you're counting Mario Galaxy. That's like the one game with a story.
Odyssey. There's a story in Odyssey.
Kinda. It's more of like a means to an end. In Galaxy, there wasn't really a need for a story, but they had like, you know, the Lumas and the princess trapped in space and wanting to go home. But she never gets to go home because she's older than everyone else around her. Everyone's already long gone, you know? By the time she has a chance to go home, everyone's already aged and dead. So she stays in space. Which is one of the darker themes about Mario Galaxy. The longer you're in space, everyone else ages on Earth much more. I guess the Mushroom Kingdom much rapidly than you do. So you like don't age, but they age a lot. So think about like Mario Galaxy's story. That's kind of morbid when you think about it. Her mom and siblings all aged up and died because they got old and lived their own lives without her. Like Mario Galaxy was dark in that sense. You know?
Yeah. I think we're so worried with music. Like, I guess it's like we make into rock. Like, yeah, like post-punk revival, like indie stuff like The Strokes and Arctic Monkeys are two of my favorite bands. Cage the Elephant.
Cage the Elephant's really good. I really love their. I've only ever listened to their one song though, the one that's No Rest for the Wicked. But I also really like Twisted Sister. I mean, they're also a really good band. I like.
Yeah, Dee Snider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when it comes like to metal stuff, I'm usually listening to like power metal, like Dragon Force, like To the Fire and the Flames.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Playlist.
Oh, you know what band that a person I actually really like their music? Bruce Falconer. I really like his music. He does a lot of the Dragon Ball Z stuff, like a lot of Dragon Ball music. He does a lot of like Z, because he's the. I also like Dragon Ball Z Kai's theme, where it's like go 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 go, we're in luck now, you know, or you know, chala head chala, or you got like Fight the Dragon, or no, it was Rock the Dragon, dun 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 dun, dun, you know, like a lot of those songs I really like. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z, if you can't tell. I love Dragon Ball.
I gathered that.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I've thought about making an ASMR, but I don't think I can. I want to, but I think I would get copyright striked. So, sadness. I want to make it, but I don't think I can. If I could, I'd do a Super Saiyan ASMR. I would. Goku teaching you how to become powerful. Goku training.
I have to learn that. Like, I want to do some video game related stuff. More so Resident Evil, Ethan saves you from Castle Dimitrescu or Leon saves you from a zombie attack type stuff.
Yeah, the only problem is I think that's Capcom, right? That's only Capcom, right? Capcom?
Yeah.
Capcom's a little mean about that, so I don't know if you can. I definitely want to do a Minecraft themed though ASMR pretty soon. I want to do one where it's its like creeper or skeleton or whatever comes up to you and they're just like, hey, you're not running away, I'm shooting arrows at you. Like, I don't know, I think that'd be a lot of fun. You know,
I want to do like a Captain America audio. I haven't written it or anything like that. I just kind of want to do something like that.
Hello, you want to become a hero?
I do actually have like an idea of something where it's like superhero training.
Yeah, I think that would actually be really cool.
But in like my own lore.
I'd probably do Iron Man because he's my favorite MCU character.
I would like to do Spider-Man, but I don't think I can pull off that voice or that wittiness, like the mannerisms that you have to do.
Like Tom Holland Spider-Man or Garfield? Or
it's like all of them, like Yuri Lowenthal. Like when I read comics, I read it in his voice. The guy that did him in the games.
Hey, who's the guy who voices Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse? I forget. He's also really talented.
Shameik Moore.
Shameik Moore. He's also very talented Spider-Man, if you wanted to mimic him. I don't know why they didn't bring him back, though, for Spider-Man for the PS5. That would have been a really good choice, in my opinion.
Well, I think they'd already made the game with Miles in it before the movie came out.
Oh, right, that might make sense.
They'd already casted Miles for the first one.
Alright, yeah, because I would have loved hearing him again for the game, because, like, again, he's like a really talented person. I really love his interpretation. I love their interpretation of Spider-Man. I don't know, is it weird that I love Sony's Spider-Man more than Marvel's? Is that bad? Like, I like Sony's interpretation of Spider-Man more. Like, in the games.
Yeah, it has, like, its own, like, lore, but, like, with Marvel, they get to be stuck in there. I think I'm excited for what they're doing with the next one, whatever it is, whatever they're planning.
Well, Marvel did something similar to Sony. They skipped the Uncle Ben stuff, and they just kind of skipped past it. It's like, yeah, you know this story. We're just going to drop you off here.
Yeah, and it's just like they mention it a little bit, but they don't even say Uncle Ben. Maybe they do it once. It's like
in the game, they mention him a lot. But...
Yeah, like, what happened, you know?
Right. Well, and like in the game, you're with a Spider-Man that's been doing it for many, 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 many years. He's been in that.
Yeah,
he's been Spider-Man for a long time.
He's 23 in the games. He's been Spider-Man for 8 years.
Right. So he's well experienced. He's getting up there. He's getting up there. So in the movie, he's still like a teenager, but he's still in high school.
The thing is, Tom Holland is the closest to the actual age Spider-Man is. He was 19 when he was casted.
I think here's people say Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man. Here's my thing. I know you guys have I know a lot of people have nostalgia for Tobey Maguire, but I think Tom Holland is legit the best Spider-Man I've seen.
Yes.
For young Spider-Man.
Andrew was good as Peter. Andrew was good as Spider-Man. Tobey was good as Peter. But Tom is great as both.
Right. Tom is really good at being Spider-Man because he encapsulates what Spider-Man is. Spider-Man's a kid. Like at heart, Spider-Man's a witty kid, right?
So, Dan Lee, rest in peace, said that Tom Holland is exactly how he imagined Peter being when he made him.
So, see, that's the thing. I think Tom Holland's literally the best Spider-Man. Everyone, rags on Tom Holland. He looks too young. Yeah, that's the point. Spider-Man's supposed to be
16.
young. That's the point of Spider-Man. I also find it funny that he's British. I always forget that. I always forget that Tom Holland is British. Whenever I hear it, I'm like, oh. I forgot.
I'm saying, when you see Idris Elba, it's like, I forgot he was British.
Anyway, guys, last 10 seconds. We're going to sum this up real quick. It's been real fun. And I guess we'll see you guys in the next podcast. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.